Hey guys, since you're not training, you might as well learn about training. Here we go. What's up guys, Matty Wichlinski here, the Consummate Athlete, TSSathletics.com. Got a quick question. It's, how does having more fat on your body help you lift more weight? How does having more fat on your body help you lift more weight? Okay, one, when you're lifting, muscle moves the weight, not the fat. But my answer to this question was, it was a Facebook question, my answer was pressure and leverage. And then the person asking the question asked if there was any more information there. Could I elaborate a bit? Well, here you go. Let's look at, for example, I know what you're saying here. How does fat help you lift more weight? It doesn't help you get stronger. It helps you lift more weight in certain exercises like powerlifting, squatting especially, when you can use leverage to your advantage. So you manipulate the leverage by having a bigger, girthier gut, and that might be fat. Ideally it would be a girthier gut with muscle, but if you have a girthier gut with fat, it's going to increase your leverage as well, and this is why. Let's look at this book, for example. Let's look at down here, this part of the book is going to be the femur, this part of the book is going to be the torso. As you squat, you close the angle of the hip, so right here, the joint, that's the hip joint, right there, boom, okay? So as you squat down, you close the hip joint, and then you stand up. That's a very lean person. There's no gut, there's no fat around the gut, the torso, no butt, okay? As they squat down and stand up, they close the angle of the hip, open the angle of the hip, okay? So the leverage is constant at the hip. Now, you take a fatter guy, he's got a big old gut on him, okay? Now, this is pressure and leverage. As I squat down, okay? The pressure of that girthy gut is you're going to apply that pressure to the quads right here, okay? So now the leverage isn't just at the hip right here, but this big old gut is pressing into the quad, and as these the big gut presses into the quads, and then you push off of it. So, to illustrate this point a little more clearly, you can see how a bigger gut applies a lot of pressure to the quads, whereas a smaller gut, there's very little pressure or no pressure. And yeah, this guy likes some food, and some of the best ever. You just get strong and use it all. That's just it. You have all that pressure from that girthy gut. Ideally it will be more muscle, but even if it's fat, it's still pressure into the quads, and that leverage point changes the fulcrum point from here with the thin guy, boom, always at the hip. Now you change the leverage to from the most proximal point of the hip to a more distal part of the hip or femur down closer towards the knee. Same thing when people are getting up out of a chair or something like that. What do? They apply pressure with their hands, which changes the leverage from here to right there. Boom. You can also look at it as a hammer. Say you're holding a sledgehammer from the very edge of the handle, and the weight of the sledge is out here. Hold it out. And this is just class 1, class 2, class 3 lever stuff. Or lever, however you say it. Look at that in your basic personal training manual that you got a long time ago, if that's what you are. And hold it from the very edge and see how easy it is to move. That's a hard leverage point. You increase the leverage and hold it closer towards the weight, and now you can lift it much easier. Okay, that's just hammer leveraging. So that's about it. There's a lot of talk about Newton's law of gravity, and weight training doesn't, decreases fat. All the answers on Facebook kind of got away from the question. The question was, how does having more fat help you lift more weight? Really, it's the girth and it's the pressure. It's not going to help in a lot of other in many exercises like deadlifting. If you're deadlifting here, you don't really have that same pressure that you would when you close that hip down in a squat, okay? So, for certain exercises, having more girth, even if it's fat, will help you. But look at the variables. Strength is what moves the weight. So let's take two lifters. Their strength is equal. Their technique is equal, but now the third variable, mass or body size. One guy's very thin, another guy's has a fatter gut. The guy with the fatter gut actually has a better leverage advantage, so if their strength is even, their technique's even, the guy with the better leverage or the fatter gut is probably going to lift more weight, even though their strength would be the same. Okay? So there you go, pressure and leverage. Later.